Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to our show. We have gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the multiverse, two of the nerdiest geeks to be found. We proudly present the professor and her geeky girlness herself, Ace. And now it's time. Geeky Kool presents Professor and Ace.
Hey everybody, welcome to Geeky KOOL presents Professor and Ace, episode 77. Ace will be with us here shortly. She assured me she's on her way. Her work called. She's such a Lois Lane, she gets called in to do those news reports. But in the meantime, we've got two special guests with us today. Please welcome Eli and Mandy. How you guys doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Awesome. I'm so glad you guys are with us. Wanted to have you on. Eli, I want to welcome you to the Geeky KOOL family. Your first article hit a couple days ago, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that article. I appreciate that. And having played Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego back in high school, back in the 80s, that's old I am. I played it on the little disc. So, anyway, but I'm so glad you're here with us, guys, and welcome to the show. I know Mandy's been on before, but for those that don't know, Eli is our brand new Geeky KOOL contributor, writer, and our youngest one. And we are so glad you're with us because we need your perspective. So, how's it feel to be writing for Geeky KOOL?
It's been really good, really stressful, but it's fun.
All right. So tell me something, Eli. Let me ask you a few questions, okay? And we'll get going and talking all sorts of geek. I heard that you've been doing some other writing too.
Yes, school. I've been part of the Z Writers Club. Let's Play Girls Group. And we've been doing all those interviews with teachers and principals and other students to create our own.
That's phenomenal. Well, I can tell that you have that writing bug just from your one article with us, and I really appreciated that, and I'm so glad you asked to join us. So we've got good hope for your generation with people like you writing for us and keeping things geeky. So, and hopefully you have fun doing it. That's it. If there's anything I want to tell you is write about what's fun for you. And it looked like you had a lot of fun writing the last article, because if you're not having fun, then you won't want to do it. And this is all about wanting to do it and expressing yourself and having a good time. So just go with that. And if you need ideas, I'm happy to give you ideas. But overall, I just tell people, write what you like. And so I'm looking forward to reading more. So, and of course, Mandy, thank you for coming back and joining us again and bringing Eli with you. And looking forward to reading some more of your articles too. So yours are always great. So
thank you so much.
So Eli, since you're our newest member, so tell us a little bit about yourself and about, because we know you're in school. So tell us kind of, what grade you're in and kind of what you're wanting to learn in school.
Well, obviously, I'm autistic, unfortunately. Well, I don't know how to put this way. I don't know. Live or live. You ready? Am I on live? Mm-hmm. This is live. Let's see. So, what are your? He asked, what are you hoping to learn in school? What are some things that you enjoy? Well, obviously programming. Okay. Computer science. Computer science. Breathe. You're okay.
You're doing fine.
He's looking forward to learning, doing the cooking class, maybe.
Yeah.
And home ec.
Yeah.
he actually cooked some cookies for us last night,
All right.
which was, I mean, it was really impressive. We just went in there, followed the directions, and did the thing, and did a good job.
That's phenomenal. I remember doing that when I was in middle school
Mhm.
and getting to cook like that. So, and you know, I don't do all the cooking in my house, but I can do some and I do some of it. So when you get older, it'll sure help. And maybe it also help your mom out once in a while if you can do a little cooking there. So yeah, that's awesome.
Actually, my husband does all the cooking.
Oh, well, there you go. You have to let your dad that way.
Yeah.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's got to figure out what roles work for them. I'm the cleaner typically, so I go in and clean up after the meals and do the floors and do all that. That's my job. My wife's the really good Italian cook, so
Wow.
we've got exactly like homemade pasta sauce and all that stuff going on. I used to be really thin, and now look at me. That's what happens. So, but no, that's awesome. Eli, have you thought anything about what you want to do when you grow up? Because I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. So, no? Okay.
I know, Mom. I probably look at the story.
Well, here is Ace with us. Welcome, AJ.
Hi, I can barely hear you because I'm still having issues with my phone, so I'm going to try to fix that, but you guys keep talking.
Okay, all right, thanks. So,
you don't know what you want to be when you grow up? No, I don't know. That's okay.
and you know what? There is no rush on that. I'm a lot older than you, and I still don't really know. I still have a whole bunch of things I'd like to do. This is one of them. I like doing this, but they don't pay me to do this yet. So maybe someday they will. I keep thinking I would have been a really good talk show host if like Jimmy Fallon would just let me come on and do some covering for him. I'd be glad to do that. I'd even do it for free just to kind of, but yeah. So Eli, what sort of things are you into right now? What do you like to do?
Oh, obviously gaming.
Obviously gaming, yeah.
Every once in a while I'll be like play card games like Pokemon or Magic. Like Magic the Gathering.
Yep.
He's recently acquired some really cool Marvel cards from fellow geek and nerd Scallywag.
Yep.
His collection. He was pretty excited to get into those recently.
Those are awesome.
You got your Adam Warlock. So these are like the 1980s, 1990s. We have 1991.
I've got a whole bunch of those in my closet too. So yeah, those are awesome. Can you hear us now, AJ?
I literally can't hear anybody.
Oh, that is
I see
not
mouths
good.
moving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto Facebook, watch you guys, and talk to you through comments.
Okay. All right. We can
Sound
do that.
good?
And
Hi,
we'll get
Eli.
you set up.
Hi, Mandy. Okay, I'll be back.
All right. Well, technical issues happen all the time. I know you guys are having some technical issues before we got started, and we got those worked out. Now, AJ is having some technical issues, and we're gonna have to try to figure out her issues long term. So, but that's all right. Yeah. So, what kind of movies do you like? What kind of stuff like that are you into, Eli?
Obviously some of those old cheesy giant monster movies. I want to say that.
Oh yeah. So you're talking to the right person here, and if AJ was able to be on with us, we'd be talking to the right people because we both love monster movies. We love Godzilla and all of the King Kong, all of those old monster movies. You start talking Frankenstein and Dracula. We love all that. Have you watched Spenguli before?
What the heck is that?
Oh, that's a great question. So it's a TV show, and they rebroadcast it in Springfield, but I don't get it at the moment. But it shows on Saturday nights. It shows like one old kind of B monster movie every Saturday night. So I just didn't know if you guys had access to that or not. But yeah, I love old monster movies, so I'm with you.
Yeah, we wish we had like local TV stations, but where we are, where we're positioned, our house just can't seem to get
Yeah.
that signal.
Yep. I understand that. Well, and mine's kind of in a valley
Mhm.
after we moved, and I've been not been able to get that station back in. Now,
Oh,
one of my buddies is supposed to help me with my antenna, and hopefully that'll help. But yeah, I hate that for you guys. I think this is AJ. I'm almost positive is she's logged in as Geeky Cool. Loves monster movies.
me
Mantra
too.
is her favorite, and I know that is AJ because I know
Oh
Mantra
my
is her
goodness.
favorite. So
Mothra is a good feminine role model. A lot of people don't realize that Mothra is a girl. Yeah.
most definitely she's a girl and
She,
has a baby Mothra in Godzilla versus Mothra. So yeah. Oh, then and you have those kind of weird fairy
oh, the little twins.
the twins, which are really awesome. I love when they show up on the screen. You're like, oh, they're here. Mothra's gonna come. Oh.
Oh, he's coming.
And it's the she is. Well, I thought that was you, AJ. All right. So yeah, so we
He also likes the old. We haven't watched one yet, but he I think unless he watched one and I haven't been paying attention. The old, when like the movies would have they would superimpose images of ants.
oh
They're
yeah.
really big, and they're them. Actually, in the book, my the story Godzilla, it kind of got inspired by the movie poster that boom. I actually saw the poster. Okay, I didn't know that. Like I knew, like there was a lot of history with Japan and
Oh yeah.
the H bomb and the two bomb, Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Um, so Godzilla kind of formed from that.
He did.
I didn't know that, it makes sense though that they would want something like a big monster, like them. There was a lot of animals like that though. I know there were ants and
Yep.
I don't know
Giant
what
spiders.
spiders,
Yep.
bunnies. Was there a bunny one? My husband says there's a bunny one.
A bunny. I've not seen the bunny one, so.
I'd like to see somebody make some cheesy B movies of that again.
Well, and AJ says, there's the 40s through 60s B movie sci-fis are amazing, and I agree. Those are always a lot of fun, and there's some really good stuff. I mean, some of it you think is going to be kind of a B movie sort of thing. When we did our last movie one a couple weeks ago, we talked about Night of the Living Dead was kind of that way. It was considered kind of to be a B movie, but it's considered to be the staple zombie movie now. You've got a lot of those science fiction movies where the special effects really aren't that great, but they're such classics and they really brought on other things, and a lot of their plots are actually pretty good. Now, you do have silly ones that are just kind of fun, and Santa Claus versus the Martians and stuff like that is just a lot of fun, but it's kind of a wild, crazy one.
I'm gonna have to look for that one.
Oh, at Christmas time, I always play that, and my kids just like, "What are you doing?" Because I think I got it on Vudu, and so I pull it up after I discovered it. I'm like, "Oh, this is a Christmas movie. We're gonna watch it at Christmas time."
Dad, whoever made that movie, they were probably drunk. Hey, don't say things like that. Hey, how do you make a Christmas movie? Let's have aliens. Let's add Martians. Well, and there was in that time period, there were a lot of, like, because the space race was such a big thing.
Yeah.
They were, like, everybody was trying to hurry up and get the first rocket to the moon, or the first, aircraft to space. That was a big phenomenon.
It was.
Like AJ was saying, the 40 60 B movies, if you think about it, they were experimenting with special effects that people,
Right.
And they were just saying, hey, will this work? And we'll try it, and that's kind of cool, and let's play it. People liked it. So, I mean, if it wasn't for those cheesy movies, we wouldn't have Star Wars.
That's exactly right. The stop motion animation that is so bad in some of those movies,
Yeah.
but that actually set things up that those things are the things that Star Wars is based on. So
Jason and the Argonauts.
yeah, exactly. Jason and the Argonauts and Sinbad in the Seven Seas.
Yes.
Those special effects are bad, but at the time that was the best they could do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And AJ says special effects that are like the practical special effects were amazing for the time period. That's so true. The costumes and what they used for special effects. I mean, even to the point of movies like Psycho, which is, the thriller kind, they used ketchup for blood because of special effects. So that was what they were able to. I'm sorry, it was chocolate syrup, not ketchup. I mean, I said the wrong thing. Yeah, it was chocolate syrup because it had the right consistency. And since it was shot in black and white, you couldn't really tell.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Puzzled.
We get a little crazy here, Eli. It's going to be okay. So what else do you like? Do you like any particular shows that are on right now, or
shows that what's a good show to currently watch?
Streaming or anything like that?
Just stream. Well, I watched all the Dragon Prince, unfortunately. Yeah, I was in the middle of writing my article on Dragon Prince when you posted yours, and I'm like,
No, go ahead and write one. I just, after you guys kept telling me to watch this, I finally sat down and watched it, and I couldn't stop. The thing just, and they were only like 20, 30-minute episodes, and be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to have another one. And they'd be like, I got to go somewhere, I got to stop, but I want to see what happens. Because I'm like, man, I didn't think I'd get that invested in it. But
the last season that aired was a little while back. I don't remember. It was probably around pandemic time when things get paused. And when I was writing up my article on it, because I was like, hey, this is a good show that people should watch. They got slated for several more seasons, and I can't remember how many. But you're getting kind of ornery, I can tell already. You know when you get their best. You know when, like, we don't have a cat, but I've been around cats, and you can just see that they're getting ready to. I'm sure if I don't know if Tim Church is watching, but I'm sure Sabrina probably, like, you can just tell, and you're like,
oh yeah. I've got a cat, and very much so you can kind of see it. I've got a 12-year-old son, and he's not learned yet to leave the cat alone, to look at the cat's signs of, I want to be left alone, get out of my face. So he keeps getting scars on his face and his hands from the cat. Now, and our cat doesn't have front claws, so he has to get close enough. He either bites them or he uses his back claws on them. And that's usually when he's got him picked up like a baby. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Cats don't want that.
No. And mine is a grumpy old man. He's 14 years old and big old fluff ball. But he's like, I'm done. Now, leave me alone. Yeah. So he likes me. I'll go pet him and I'll leave him alone. So
I can tell when Eli is starting to get
a little
getting ornery.
Yeah, getting that ornery thing. Yeah.
We were talking about Dragon Prince, but they are slated, like they have several more seasons coming.
Yeah.
So
and there was some controversy with it, which made it look like it may not get renewed, and it looks like that all got figured out. But I'm like, I hate that whole thing. I'm like. But I'm glad because I'm really enjoying it. It's right up there with Ruby right now for me, which I'm dying for the next season of. So
we haven't started watching that yet. That's one on the back burner. On a list of things to get around to. Like we don't have time.
If you're looking for a good anime, that's a good one. For a while, they had like seasons 1 through 5 on YouTube you can watch for free. Don't know if it's still there or not, but it's where it was. It's how I got started on it. I was actually going to a convention, and I'd heard of it, and then I knew that a whole bunch of the the voice actors were going to be there. I'm like, well, what is this show? And I'm like, my liking of anime was really limited at the time. There were a few things, but I'm like, yeah, whatever. Old Voltron and Battle of the Planets and stuff like that. I'm like, those, and the anime where they get the really big eyes when they get excited, and that happened a couple times in Dragon Prince, but not very often. But that just, I'm like, I don't love that.
Does it like suspend or gets you out of that when you suspend belief? Like
yes,
you out of it and like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
I like Dragon Prince because they show a lot of diversity. Like one of the characters, I believe, is deaf or hard of hearing.
Yep, she's deaf. Yep.
Oh yeah, their aunt. Yeah, their aunt, and she's
yep.
singing. I mean, it's really neat to see. I don't know if and I'll try not to spoil it, but there is a little girl with, I believe, she has her leg amputated. They don't show that part, but like the lower half of her leg is missing. So I mean, it's nice to see some representation like that. Because
right, I agree.
Imperfect people.
So AJ's got a few more things here, so let's jump through these. That way, she's talking with us. Chocolate syrup and strawberry syrup work best for blood because of the consistency, but it's messy. Yeah, that is true. And she says she takes the cat's side instead of Logan's side, which I take the cat's side too. So if you keep messing with me, I'm like, I don't blame them. Leave the cat alone.
They tell you no if you just listen.
Well, and it's really funny because his doctor went to his doctor's appointment. His doctor saw the scar, and of course the doctor's asking questions about it. And I'm thinking to myself, great, my son is getting the is your parents abusing you sort of survey. Right. And he's like, now I want Logan to answer this. I'm like, okay, I'll sit her quietly. And so Logan's like, yes, cat. And I keep messing with him. And so the doctor looks at me and goes, see that scar right there? You know how good of an aim a cat is and stuff like that? Not very good. So he could have missed right there and got your eye. Would you really want that? No, but then he still kept messing with him. So,
sometimes it takes a couple times to learn a lesson.
So she says her favorite anime to watch with Lex is Fruits Basket. And I don't know Fruits Basket.
And I want to watch it because I know Morgan. I think that's when Morgan.
Yeah.
What the heck is Fruits Basket? It's a little show that you guys were like, it's too girly. I'm like. And now so is Sailor Moon, but it's good stuff.
Sailor Moon's a classic.
I am in a house full of boys, and I don't get to enjoy our dog. Yeah, the dog's a boy too. You know? A husband, 2 boys, and a boy dog. So
right.
I don't get to watch the girl stuff so much.
So I grew up the other way. I grew up with a house full of girls, and my mom had 7 sisters and 1 brother. So. And so I had a lot of aunts and a lot of female cousins, and so I grew up with a lot of girls around. But, I like Sailor Moon also. I mean, I don't watch it all the time, but I can see that. They can be a lot of fun. He's cringing over there.
He just can't imagine that many.
Like, I don't know. Yeah.
That must be torture. He can't get along with the 1 brother he has.
Yeah, I understand. Well, AJ says, or cells at work.
That is a good show. Yes. It does have cussing, so if anybody that's watching is thinking about it, there's like 1 or 2 cuss words because anime tends to do that.
Right.
But I love that they put it in a way that it teaches concepts of this is like they kind of make villains that look like a virus or
right.
bacteria, and they show what the white blood cells do and their different jobs and stuff like that. I love
That's
that.
awesome.
It's a fun little show. Have you seen it, Larry?
I have not seen that one.
It's not very long. It's like Dragon Prince. They've got I think they're like 20-minute episodes, 18 to 20-minute episodes, and there's not very many. Yeah, there's like 1 season, so
I'll have to check it out.
Burn through it in a day or 2.
Well, I know I did with Dragon Prince all 3 seasons. I'm like, it wasn't as bad as when I watched. Oh my gosh, my brain just went out. Stranger Things. When I watched Stranger Things, I got so into it that it was like I didn't want to go to bed, and so I was up like 3 a.m. and then next night the same thing. Like, oh, all right, all done. Here we go.
And Netflix is like, "Are you still watching?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm still watching."
Yes, now there are times that I wake up with that message because I've fallen asleep 2 hours before, but you know. So AJ says that they use cells at work for biology lessons since they do homeschooling.
Brilliant! That is awesome. Yeah. Do we have a little guest behind us? No, go on. We have little brothers wanting in on the action.
She also said Fruits Basket is not girly after the first few episodes.
Okay.
There you go. And Ruby's a little girly at the first, but they introduced some really cool guy characters also. So, but the main characters are girls, but they have really cool powers and abilities, and it's kind of a fun thing. So I
watched Glitter Force. No, I think about that for a little bit, and it was like, okay, if I could just, and it was one of those, if you like really crappy junk food.
Yes.
It doesn't taste very good, but it's like I can't stop eating it.
Yeah. Yep.
It was like that. If you take Sailor Moon and roll it in sugar, it's basically hyped up and dumbed down. I mean, it's worse. But I couldn't stop watching. I'm like, this is awful. Next.
Sometimes
next season they suddenly get poker symbols. Yeah, it was like poker symbols. I don't remember. Yeah, like something like 4-week, 12 weeks. Like for the cards. So they had like it was like a puppy's feet or club.
Yeah.
A club and a spade and it's a whole thing. So cheesy, cringy. Hello, girls in long dresses. And it's the same thing, like a pretty makeup. The transformation.
Oh yeah.
And they've got a little TV animal that looks like a stuffed animal, and it's the whole thing. It's basically a big ripoff. It's the Dollar General Sailor Moon.
The Dollar General Sailor Moon. Wow, that's quite a description.
This is probably what they said to make the idea, like, let's make a ripoff of Sailor Moon. Fridge meter. 3 to 11.
And then people watch it.
What? Say what?
People watch it, so there you go. I mean, those ripoffs people watch all the time.
Hey, people watch Sharknado, and I don't know how many. There's like a ton of those.
Like 6 or so. Those are intentionally bad. That's what makes me like them. So
right. It's like sometimes you just want to watch a really bad movie. I don't know. I beg you laugh at it. Yes, that's what's great about it. That's why Mystery Science Theater exists.
That you're exactly right. Do you like Mystery Science Theater?
I never watched it, but I will. He's aware of it, but he's aware of it.
All right.
Yeah. We should do a Geeky KOOL version. Oh no, that would be fun. Oh yeah, that would be a good idea. Let's laugh back Glitterforce. All right.
So the challenge with that is you have to get rights to be able to show it or whatever. I know that AJ and Spoo did that for he had a day where he was doing a 24-hour broadcast.
Oh really?
And they did that in the evenings. They watched something and they were kind of spoofing it that way, but they couldn't really show much of the show because of streaming rights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
AJ did say there is a season 2 of Cells at Work.
Yes.
Be available on Funimation dubbed. Now, so the big question for you guys: dubbed or screen?
Dub. We're English. Stop. Because when we started watching a lot of our animes, Wyatt was not old enough to read.
Yeah.
And we couldn't narrate it over everybody. We do watch dub.
Yeah.
And we fall in love with the voice actors and like being able to spot, hey, that's the guy that plays All Might, and he's also in One Piece, and he's also
Right.
being able to follow all that stuff.
Right.
Like at OzCon this year, we're gonna have several Dragon Ball Z voice actors.
Right. I saw that.
Which I think is fantastic.
It is. I agree. And I know I'm geared up for OzCon, and I think AJ is too, for a few reasons. But no, I'm with you. I watch the dub versions when I can. One, I'm dyslexic, so that slows me down reading. Two, I have ADD, and so anything flashing up here grabs my attention, and I miss what's going on the screen because I'm trying to read the words. Mm-hmm. So dubbed is the only way I watch it. My wife and daughter both like subtitles on just regular TV. Mm-hmm. I can't watch TV that way because I miss what's going on because of all these subtitles on below.
We have to have subtitles because our kids are too loud. Wait, what? And instead of being like, what did he say?
See, that's how my wife is. I just crank it up. I don't care. I'm going to listen to it loud.
Like, you can only get it so loud until the speakers start buzzing.
This is true.
And it's like, shut up, I can't hear it. The next thing you know, your TV's off quietly. The windows are buzzing. Next thing you know, the Empire State Building. What's going on? Oh, the Collinses are watching Iron Man again.
So when I was in college, I moved into this house with some friends of mine. So it was four single guys living in this house. It's a rental house. The house was really old and did not have any insulation in it at all. Like when it got wintertime, we all moved out because it was really bad. But one of my buddies had a speaker set with all these bass amps that was called the thumper back then. And the whole intention was you would have that thump while you're driving your car. He put it behind the couch. And my other buddy had a bass amp. So, your big guitar bass amps, and put it up front. We watched movies like that, and the neighbors complained all the time. And you would see the windows shaking. Yeah. So I did that, Eli. I lived that for a while.
My husband had a subwoofer hooked up there for a while, and it was until we had the stereo surrounds. Well, he had a stereo and you could hook it up to the TV.
Right.
And then TVs got too smart and you couldn't.
Right.
Everything's aging too fastly. Like you. Thank you.
Just realize, Eli, right now you're the youngest writer. Eventually you will be the oldest in the room. And you'll be like, how did that happen? It will happen someday. You'll be... So and AJ says that was surround sound at its earliest. And it was, most definitely.
Yes.
So... Eli, do you read comic books, or do you like any of that stuff? Once in a while?
I don't get that often.
Sure.
Because we're trying to protect our bank account.
Well, they're a lot more expensive than they used to be. They used to be pretty cheap, and used to be able to go to the grocery store. So what would happen to me is I'd go with my parents or my grandma, who often took me to the grocery store. And they would take me over to the rack that had the magazines. And my job to keep me from causing problems in the grocery store was to sit there at the comic books and scroll through them all and pick the one I wanted. And if I was good and didn't get in trouble, they would buy me a comic when we left the grocery store. So that's how it was. That's how I got my comic book collection. Now I've got like 5,000 comics or something like that. So
So, no. What's wrong with you? If your blood gets that low, do it. Stop. I've got comic books that I've thought about selling. But they're not very. It's fine. I bought them, like, I bought them because okay, what was it? It was like 20 years ago, wasn't it? Or almost, about 15 years ago. I really liked the cover art.
Yeah, there's some great cover art.
And then, like, because there was a New Mutants series that came out.
Yep.
Like in 03 or 04.
Mm-hmm.
And it had this Art Nouveau watercolor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw I saw number 3. And we were at a comic book store. And I was like, hey, can I get the first 2 issues? And so we got a couple of them, and so I signed up for like the weekly, and then they switched or something to a different, I don't know, like like the storyline switched or something.
Oh yeah.
Then it didn't make sense, like all these characters that they built up and were creating, and I was like really starting to get invested in their story. There was like this big event that like wiped out half of them.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know.
House of M, I'm betting probably that's what it was. Where Scarlet Witch said no more mutants, and basically 98% of the mutants lost their powers. And so comics like that went away because you made these really cool characters. Yeah, I met the original creator of the New Mutants, and he was a big writer on X-Men for a long time in the 80s, and got him to sign my New Mutants #1, the original series. And I looked at him and I said, I went and picked up this issue because I loved your X-Men stuff, and then I got so sucked in I had to buy it every month. And he goes, I did my job right then. Yes. That's what I like to hear. Yeah.
Right. Well, if you sit in this church a while, it gets a little uncomfortable. Yeah, you understand.
It sure can if you sit in a chair too long like that.
This chair makes you too tall. But that chair makes you too small. You're good. What? What's next on your list, Larry? The cable guy? The cable guy. Oh!
So AJ wants to know who your favorite superhero is, Eli.
Oh, his first love was Iron Man, obviously. Still is today. When he was, I know it's an Eli story. Yes, don't tell me. It's adorable. Don't, please don't. I know this is Eli's interview, and I keep talking. I'm sorry. I'll pay you all my money. No, you don't have enough money. I have $5. Stop. Let me tell this. It's adorable, and I love it, and Professor Larry will love it. It'll be okay.
He's creeping out of the scene now. It's like, okay.
I'll just stare at them. So he was a toddler, like maybe 2, maybe not quite. And we went to this, my husband was working at Walgreens at the time. And so they had a company or a big Christmas party for everybody at the store. And the pharmacist, was it the pharmacist's husband? So the pharmacist's husband comes in the whole Santa Claus get up.
Uh-huh.
And he's got his big bag of goodies, and he's doing his ho, ho, ho thing. And along comes little Eli, I'm sorry. Little Eli, barely toddling, barely talking at this point, because he spoke in like 1 or 2 word sentences. He was a little bit speech delayed.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks Santa Claus up and down and goes, Iron Man. This wonderful guy dressed in red is giving me toys. It must be Iron Man.
All right.
So, including the beard. The beard and everything. He had a beard. We just knew that was Iron Man. He Spider-Man forever. Billboard for me. No, Hot Seven Cigarettes. Yes. You deal with fire. So you can talk about your favorite. You can talk about your favorite. Get over here, okay? I'm done with my story. So tell the professor your favorite superheroes. Now you've ruined everything. Let's see. Let me see if I can think of some. What about the Blob? Is that your favorite? No! He's a fat villain. He can eat a tank. That was one of my favorite. I know, like, I'm sure that Wolverine movie, I don't even remember what that one was called, where they have the Blob and the really bad Deadpool.
Wolverine Origins.
Origins. I'm sure there's a lot of people that hate that, but I love that scene. Did you call me Blob? Yeah.
That is a good scene. I agree. That movie's bad in a lot of ways, but that is a cool scene. I agree. Because the Blob's a great villain, especially if you bring around other people. Because if you have a big guy going to fight somebody, all right, you're going to hit me, but you're not going to move me. So the unmovable Blob.
Yep. He can't even move when he gets hit by a tank.
Oh, yeah?
Pretty good. So what are some of your favorites? Warlock, right there. You like Adam Warlock? Okay. Why do you like him? He pretty much is like a demigod. Okay.
And do you know that they're planning on him being in the new Guardians?
Yeah, we heard that. I mean, he's excited and looking forward to that. What about, do you like any of the Guardians of the Galaxy? Just the rabbit. The rabbit? Rocket Raccoon? He always gets mad when they call him a raccoon. He's normal. He wants to eat garbage. What about Captain Carter? What the heck? Oh, her! Oh, the British super soldier. The one who beat the crap out of Red Skull. Okay, that's right.
Captain Carter.
Seriously? Who else? Thor? Spider-Man? Yeah. Well, wait. Do you like Peter Parker or Miles Morales better? Peter Parker. Peter Parker. Yes, Miles is invisible. Good for you. Spider-Man? Yeah, a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Scarlet Spider? Don't know who the heck he is. A lot of people don't know who the Scarlet Spider is.
That's because it's a little convoluted clones and all that stuff.
I liked him for a short period, but it was only because I was reading over my brother's shoulder when he was reading Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Get off, sis. Oh, yeah. I'm about to make a new one. Okay. A new article. Oh, what's your new article going to be about? We're talking. I should have told you that. He's gotten one that I need to edit. It's on Movie Monster. A Movie Monster game.
Oh, all right.
Movie Monster. Okay. Well, back then it had bad titles. So it's kind of like the predecessor of Rampage.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like the Godzilla and Blob and all that stuff. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which is the Rain Man. No, it's Godzilla. Tarantulas? Yeah, okay. Yes. Everyone wants the phobia's worst nightmare. Okay. Mechatron? I think. Oh, yeah. It's an old game about old movie monsters.
Right.
He wrote up that one, and I haven't got to it yet.
That's awesome.
Google it up. It's in my queue of things to do. Which you have to do. No, I wouldn't do that. So what? Nothing. I said I wouldn't do that. Okay. Now I'm confused. So I was talking about.
So Eli, do you like fantasy stuff also? Like, like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or
Yeah, for Harry Potter, yeah, for Lord of the Rings. What fantasy stuff do you like? Well, obviously fantasy games. Like that. The games? Yeah, they don't know. Oh. It's not because I know. I mean, to tell them interview. I thought you did. I don't know everything. He likes the, I was gonna say Command and Conquer, but I was thinking Champions of Nora.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Or he's a big fan of dragons.
I love dragons. I'm with you. Dragons and dinosaurs. Bring them on. I'm all day long.
Yeah. That was a kid's book I read. Yeah. What else? Have you seen? I believe it's a Disney movie. What was that one where they were? It was like modern day, but they were little. They were elves, and they were going to go try to see their dad. Do you remember? Have you seen that one? It's been a few years. And like the unicorns are like eating out of the trash can. Oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Disenchanted? No, because that's Onward. Onward.
Onward, I have seen. Yes, I like Onward. Yes.
It was such a good movie. Yeah.
And the whole bridge scene there.
Yes.
Do you still have the rope? Yeah. Let's come untied from him. Yeah.
They ruined Dungeons and Dragons. No, they made a ripoff of it. It's not a ripoff. They referenced it. Like they had to actually. They got permission to put Dungeons and Dragons in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the was it the beholder or the gelatinous cube? I can't remember the gelatinous cube in it. Yeah. So then it was like an original D&D master. I still did the D&D good. That's okay. You good?
Do you like D&D?
He wants to. We're waiting for him to mature a little bit.
Yep. That makes sense. Yeah.
He has played Hero Quest.
Oh yeah.
The board game. I sucked it, and his little brother beat him or won.
It happens.
His two characters. Meanwhile, you opening the doors. So committees. They like Wyatt lived and he died. So, but it's because he kept opening doors. And then the creatures would walk in. And then we had to do like social Avengers in the New York fight. Yeah, so you couldn't. I had two dudes, the dwarf and the barbarian, and they were two good characters. You just kept opening doors. Like you needed to like heal or take a break. I don't know. I wasn't there for this episode, but it was apparently great fun. That was the first and last time we played.
Says that like it's a pretty final thing. And the last time.
For now. Until his dad gets enough patience worked up to do it. Which he never has. He never has patience. He does. You wear on it all the time.
Well, that does happen.
It's what children do. This is true.
It is.
The most. Why does the most of it?
I've got a friend of mine who's he likes the Dungeon Master. He works for the Nixa school system, and he's got a D&D club, I think, with his fifth graders that he plays after school sometimes. So he gears it really down for that level. And he also does like parties. So he'll people can hire him out to come do like a 2-hour thing with a group of kids. So yeah, so that stuff's really kind of cool if you can.
What's the phone number?
Well, I can get you that information.
I think at the high school they have a D&D club.
Oh, see, there you go.
All you do is just give PhD. That's not a high school is not a PhD. It's like in 2 grades from now. You'll be in high school. Someday soon. I mean, we do have a little brother that we can't leave out. So
right. Oh, I get that. I was just curious since he was talking about it, and I knew that you guys played some. So yeah.
It's been many years since Debbie and I played. Actually, since he was born. I think he was a little bitty guy when we last tried to play. It's really hard to play D&D and not wake up a baby.
Yeah, this is true. Yep, especially when you roll a natural 20
Roll
or
for stealth.
1.
No, they're trying to check on the baby. Roll for stealth. Roll for the Constitution. The baby cries. You take 9 psychic damage. Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, so my daughter, who's now 21, when she was a little baby, she had what's called colic. And colic is when your stomach's really upset and you scream all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And she screamed the entire time she was awake until she was like after 4 months. So if she, like, people look, oh, what a cute baby. Oh my gosh. We had a lady who ran a nanny service that worked in the nursery for our church. And my wife goes up to get her and she goes, oh, bless your heart. Like, wow, okay.
Like she got a sample of what you got.
She got a sample. It's like, oh wow, okay, this is not but yeah, she would scream like bloody murder.
So with Eli, of course, Wyatt too, we didn't realize, of course, we didn't know until he was 5 that he was autistic. So we used to think he had colic, and he may have had colic, I don't know, but it was, oh man, he barely slept.
Yeah.
Still, yeah, but you're not crying and keeping me awake all night. Well, that's good. But I pray you by would get killed by that. I mean, we tried everything. The one thing that did work, a friend of mine got me one of those big fabric baby slings. And that, I mean, as soon as he got in that and he was just all wadded up in a little cocoon, he went right to sleep. And he spent a large portion of his early months and, sleeping in that. I mean, that was the only way we could sleep was if he was in it. So.
Well, yeah, I understand because I mean I was getting like 4 hours sleep a night up, and the only way my daughter could fall asleep because we tried that, we tried other things, we tried swaddling, and she was not about that at all. And it would be to hold her on my chest while I laid on the couch and pat her back.
Yeah.
And she'd go to sleep for maybe 10 minutes, and then she'd wake up, and then have to do it all over again. Yeah, that.
Well, you felt the house shake. Yeah, just co-sleeping, like taking turns. Like
taking turns, exactly.
I'll be awake for a couple hours. And we were a wreck.
Yeah, we were too. So I get that.
But he was worth
it. That's good. That's really good.
So,
it's good that you're worth it.
So I actually learned a lesson today. It'll be your turn one of these days. I learned a lesson today, but don't get a kid.
At your age, that's a really good lesson.
Yeah. Especially Lloyd.
Yeah. Having kids is a challenge, and so you need to make sure you're all ready before thinking about that. That's good advice for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, those high school fake baby things don't prepare you enough.
No, not anywhere close to that.
Mm-mm.
And I wanted to almost punch the parents who were like, oh, yes, at 2 weeks they were sleeping through the night. Oh, come here, I'm going to punch you because I'm like, whatever.
If your baby's sleeping through the night, what are you doing wrong?
Are you slipping them alcohol in that bottle? Is that what I'm doing wrong? Because maybe that's what I need to start doing.
They used to, like in the...
I know.
Of course, babies, like, I don't know, great grandmas or whatever. I don't know why ever looked at the old labels on some
Oh
of the
yeah.
medicines? It's like cocaine.
Yep.
It's like, of course, baby was.
Well, even cough medicine back in the 80s. I mean, NyQuil had 35% alcohol in it.
Right? It wasn't until like do it. Yeah, it's still quite a bit. And
I'm buying the wrong NyQuil then.
Yeah, now you have to like present your ID to buy the NyQuil.
Exactly.
So did you
Well,
see
guys.
Grays? I can get the NyQuil.
I saw a Christmas lead once.
I saw a Christmas bead. Okay, what was your Christmas bead?
Sorry, allergy.
Bead. He's got a little bit of a cold. What was your Christmas bead?
It was a horrible one. Someone made when you open the Christmas present and you get the case for Marvel's Infinity War, but when you open it, it is a disc of Emoji Movie. You.
Okay.
Somebody made that.
Okay.
Eli, have you ever seen Godzilla versus Bambi?
What the heck?
So YouTube that sometime. It's well worth it. It's well worth it.
A baby deer versus
Was Bambi a baby or an adult?
Bambi. So it's Godzilla versus Bambi.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he's a baby deer. So yeah.
So she's dead. Bambi's a boy. He's dead.
You'll have to watch the
movie. Maybe Bambi survives and beats Godzilla.
Yeah, sure. The military. How are we gonna stop this dinosaur?
Send in the deer.
Check it out, because you'll be like, oh, well, there you go. It's a classic monster movie right there.
Good movie.
Was this like a bootleg version? Or?
It's a movie short and it's animated, but it's I think maybe even just black and white animated. So it's yeah. It. I won't spoil it, but yeah, check it out. And it's not gory or anything else really. It's just it's funny. So
that's how I thought I ate the beard. Oh wait, that was a different one. Oh, I never had beard before. Yeah, really?
Yes, yeah. We've had beer. Once upon a time. Not that long ago. It's really good with biscuits and gravy and mashed potatoes.
oh yeah. A little venison sausage there, yeah.
So you added heaven plus.
No, you take the back strap and you dice it and then bread it and fry it.
You ruined good stuff. You just ruined the idea of poutine.
It's not poutine, it's something else.
You said, oh yeah.
You've never had poutine. I've never had poutine.
Nobody in this house has except Dad because he's been all over the world. Because he's older than us.
No more memes.
Not all that crap.
He speaks in memes. That's his move. That's his shtick.
Well, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here for us. And Eli, you have any other words of wisdom for us, or anything you want to tell people, other than to read your articles?
Don't be weird.
No, being weird is good. The weirdos are our people. I don't know. We tend to scare off some weirdos.
Okay,
That's how Jason ran away from us.
Do you know how many bits of advice?
Definitely not. I'm not the advice, sir.
You're not the advisor.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there. Let me sign off with thanking all the people that we were talking about, all the people we normally talk about, and then we'll call it an evening. And I appreciate you guys coming on, so much, Mandy and Eli. I appreciate you guys coming on, and I appreciate you guys writing for us. So, both of you, very much so. So, we like to end our show by mentioning other people that are doing very cool things like we're doing, and so we're going to go through a list real quick on those. We've got the Nerd Informants, our good friends, the Nerd Informants down there in Branson. Josh and Tim, those guys are great, and you can find them on YouTube and Facebook. They also have their own Facebook page, the Nerd Informants Beyond. And Eli, when you get a Facebook account, you'll be able to go on there and talk to those guys. So it's a great page for anybody that doesn't know that, to check that out. And Geeky Kool often posts our stuff there. We have our friends over at the Fanatics and the Fan over on YouTube doing all sorts of cool video stuff. And of course, the Ozpod Gals, which we love them to death. So
they are a couple of girls that do a podcast.
Yep.
And it started out during our online OzCon in the pandemic. I never got part of that. That's okay, because we weren't aware that it happened. It's okay. It's a fun.
It is.
I've worked with Amber a little bit, so I mean, she's such a darling.
She is. Amber's awesome. So yeah, we love both of them. So we've got our friends Keith and Gary over at Pop Culture Minefield. Now, Eli, this is not a site for you.
Obviously.
This one is a little more adult oriented. Gary likes to use a lot of colorful words that. But they do have a load of information for people that are of an adult age that enjoy our stuff. Their stuff is really cool. They have a lot of stuff that they break news-wise, and so you can check them out. Keith also has his own show, which is watchable by Eli. It is called what is it? It's Keith Chimes In. Keith Chimes In is his show. He's doing that about the sci-fi series Babylon 5 right now, going through every episode. Mondays at 3 p.m. on, and this is the best name I know, the Fat Steven Seagal Show. I just love that name. So, so they're out there doing their thing, and of course we've got our good friend and our partner, the Scallywag himself, Spoo. Hopefully they'll be back doing some more of their crazy videos over with Scallywag Productions, and of course our site, GeekyKOOL.com, where you can find all three of us, and if you include AJ, who's been with us and is leaving messages, all four of us as writers, contributors on the site. Check all of our stuff out, guys. If you haven't been there, come check us out. And now that we've expanded even into having Eli with us, we're going to be able to cover a lot more stuff and give a whole lot of perspective on stuff. So come join us. Eli, thank you for putting up with us and coming on. I know it was embarrassing and everything else, but I appreciate you coming on, man. I'm so happy that you're with us. Thank you for writing for us. And Mandy, always a pleasure, and thank you also. And for our set, that's what we're going to call tonight. So everybody out there, stay geeky.
See ya.